welcome to my kitchen once again. And this is the third and last installment of Cooking with Good Food People and Cooking Monday. I'm Sandra, your plant-based chef and a nutritionist for today. And with me here is Sonia, my trusty BFF, who is here today. And I'm sure you've seen her from MasterChef Season 1. And also she's a huge advocate of plant-based cooking. So really glad to have you here, Sonia.
Thank you, Sandra, for having me over, and this is great. I've seen the dishes and the recipes that you created, and I'm really looking forward to this one as well.
Yeah, this is the most fun of the three, I have to say. And if you've missed the first and second videos, for the first dish, we actually made a turmeric Cura chicken with turmeric rice.
Right.
And for the second dish, we made a Omni Meat Powerball dish. And if you've missed all that recipes, you can always go on to goodfoodpeople.sg for all the recipes. So today we're gonna make this super hands-on Beyond Meat Onigirazu, which is actually like a fatter version of onigiri, which is also known as a sushi sandwich. And I'll let Sonia tell you what ingredients we're gonna put in it.
All right, so first and foremost, I think fun is a great way to create a recipe. I think that's top of mind recall always when there's fun.
Exactly.
Like always, all the ingredients that we have here are all again from goodfoodpeople.sg. So let me take you through the ingredients that we're going to be using for Sandra's recipe. So she's already cooked some brown rice here. There's an avocado, one of my favorite ingredients. Some carrot, cucumber, black sesame seeds, some lettuce leaves, and you have red bell pepper that is over there. So some of the ingredients here, and
of course, we want to add in a little bit of protein for it, just because to keep us a lot fuller, longer. And also we just need that satisfying crunch. So for this recipe, I've chosen to use a Beyond Beef patty. But then today I'm not gonna make a burger. Like I said, I'm gonna put this in my really Asian sushi sandwich here. And like you can see here, this patty is already preformed. You can buy the sausage, the Beyond sausages, as well as the mincemeat on Good Food People. But I find this to be really easy to use because it's already preformed. You could just make a burger with it, or you can actually crumble it to put over a meatless dish. Yeah. First of all, I need to cook the Beyond Burger, and it's one of those products that, like, we talk about how easy it is and how fuss-free it is. All you have to do is just heat up your frying pan, and in 2 or 3 minutes, you will have your protein nicely sizzled, nicely browned, and satisfying. So I'm just gonna heat up some oil.
Right.
And I'm just gonna let this warm up for a bit, and we can start the basis of our sushi sandwich. And also, let's not forget about the nori, which is like, you know, the outside of a sushi. And also nori is great for plant-based folks or people on plant-based diet because it provides a trace amount of iodine, which is missing when you're not eating seafood. So whilst I'm doing that, I think like Sonia is gonna cut her avocado.
Sure.
And I like adding fat into my onigirazu just because it helps to bind it. Everything binds a little bit better. And also it's just really satisfying just to have the creaminess of avocados.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do here now is there are two sides to a nori sheet, the shiny side and the not so shiny side. So here, what I wanna do is I wanna take my nori sheet and I wanna place it like in a diamond formation with the not so shiny side facing up. That's it.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave this here.
And I think my pan is hot enough, and I'm gonna slide this Beyond Beef patty into the frying pan. So it keeps it shaped really well as well. So you just have to leave it undisturbed while it browns and sizzles. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen those Instagram videos or YouTube videos of how they do a blind test with a Beyond Beef patty burger as well as a conventional beef patty. And in those blind tests, a lot of people can't tell the difference between a conventional beef patty or a Beyond Beef patty. And the amount of the carbon footprint of this is almost 97% lower than a regularly farmed beef patty.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I know. So great for you, great for the planet. So whilst that's cooking up, I can start to put the foundation for our sushi sandwich. So you always want to try to keep your spatula a little bit moist, a little bit wet, so that it's not sticking into it. It's really easy to assemble, and it's really fun. And this is something that you can do with your kids, try to get them, or you can even just hide your vegetable in it and they will not know any difference. So what I did here was I put a puzzle or a square of brown rice into the middle of my diamond nori sheet. I try to press it down a little bit so that I don't have this like giant puzzle when I'm done. And that's it. And I get a little bit like picky. And
you have to be if you want a specific something.
Exactly. So there you go. And I'm gonna put a little bit of lettuce here, just so that it could just add as a nice base to soak up the sauces that I'm gonna put in it. So I'm gonna forward a little bit or just hide my
the
lettuce.
thick stems.
Yeah, exactly. But you still want to hide it in there, and you still want to use it up because no food waste, right? Exactly. So from here, I'm gonna add in, I'm gonna put in some vegan mayo here, and just because otherwise you're just only gonna end up eating rice. So from here, I can start to add in all my other ingredients that I've sliced, like for example, carrots and red capsicum into planks, and my cucumbers and the avocado that Sonia has. And remember, there is no right or wrong when you're assembling this. It's really just what you want to put in it. And just try to keep everything, if there's any rules that I can put out, is just try to keep everything neatly within the confines of it. And because if I just wanted to eat a little bit more carrot, I add a little bit more, but really you can just do whatever you want with it. Do you want to add on to it?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
So just so that we can tell the audience what you've done, how you've gotten this to be this thin, is that you've gotten a slicer.
Exactly. No, actually just really good knife skills.
Okay. Not either very good knife skills or just use a slicer.
Exactly.
Just like cut your carrot and then you just slice it, and then you get really nice thin, and then you can just chop it and to get into a size like this.
Exactly. And so now that I have kind of added like my little terrain of vegetables, I'm gonna start to slice the patty into half, right? Maybe one is slightly thicker than the other, but who cares, right? It's all about having fun with your food. And there we go. I've sliced it and it's perfect. There you go, like on a bed or mattress of vegetables. And then from here, I don't think I've added my capsicum yet, so I'm just gonna do that right now.
Sorry.
Yeah. So once again, really easy. And there's also a lot of ready to eat sauces that's available on GoodFoodPeople. And this might be a good chance for you just to try out the sauces, drizzle it on, make your Onigirazu as flavorful as possible. And then that's it. And then we want to add in a little bit of avocado as well. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna fan it out. And what I'm gonna do right now, this is like a moment of truth right now because it's make or do or die. So all I wanna do right now is I wanna start folding in my edges, and that's as simple as it, right? So you want to I'll start off with this edge and then I bring it together. See, it fits. Usually it ends up falling all over because I've added too much vegetables. And from here, I kind of practice my wrapping skills for Christmas and I bring it together. And don't worry if it can't fit fully, because you can just try to use a little bit of elbow grease to try to make it fit.
Nice. And I do see that, you're wetting your fingers and then you're moving with the nori. So that really helps it to make it a little supple.
Yes.
And then folding it becomes easier.
Yes. And what you want to do is don't worry if it's not a perfect puzzle, okay? Nothing should be perfect, right? So what you want to do is, if it doesn't look perfect, don't worry about it, because you can now just shrink wrap it. And you want to leave it sitting for about a good 2 or 3 minutes. But I also heard a good tip that you could just also put it in the fridge if you want it to stick a little bit better. So what I'm doing now here is just wrapping it up, and I'm just gonna let it sit for a while. And this is like a perfect to-go food for school lunches or anything. And it's a perfect blend of carbohydrates, proteins, and fiber. And then you have all that in your pocket ready to go. So I'm just gonna leave this out here for a bit. Yeah, so Samia, do you know that like I was really blown away when I started doing a little bit of research into how much water it takes to actually grow meat.
Really? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so to grow 1 kilogram of meat, I was told that it's equivalent of taking 12 months of shower. That's a huge amount. And when I started doing more research into it, it says that to grow 1 kilogram of meat, it actually takes about 120,000 liters of water. So that's a huge amount. So you can imagine like your carbon footprint if you were just to choose to go plant-based, even if it's just once a week.
Right.
And that's like, as we shown how easy it was and how quick it was to cook that protein. And it contains 20 grams of protein per patty. So if we make 2 onigiri, that's your protein for that day, for that meal rather.
Right.
And you have your carbs, and it's really easy. And I think it's ready. It's a moment of truth here. Now I'm just showing you the knife that I've kind of wet. Always wet your knife just a little bit.
That helps, right?
That helps. That helps to cut through that or not. Yep. And there we go. So in the ideal world, in the perfect world, you might want to keep this for just a little bit longer and maybe not use that much plastic wrap that I was. And here I was. I don't really know what other not to use plastic.
So what you could do is take a banana leaf.
That's a great idea.
And then what you could do is just heat it. So if you have an induction stove at home, what you could do is you could have like a tray of water that you bring it up to boil, and then you can just add the banana leaf into it so it becomes very supple. Yeah. If you have, of course, a nice flame stove, then you just show it under it so that it kind of like just begins to start blistering. And that makes it extremely supple. And then you put that down, and then you can use that.
That's a really great suggestion.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to use that more often.
Yeah, so you could save on the plastic.
Exactly.
And
there you go. So what we have here is your little perfect onigirazu.
That looks beautiful.
I know. And it was so easy to make. It didn't take us more than 5 minutes, just cutting the vegetables. And like I said, it's very forgivable as long as you use the nori to wrap it up. So I'm just gonna put it in my little bento box here. And I would like to sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds onto it.
Sure,
why
not?
Color, just for nutrition
Contrast,
as well.
yes.
Contrast, yeah.
And what you could also do is, let's say, for example, you use the brown rice, right? You could also flavor the rice.
Exactly.
Use leftover rice. Like, for example, if you've made a fried rice, then this is a good recipe to use.
Right. You don't even have to use brown rice. You can use cauliflower rice for those of us who want to cut down on carbs. Or you don't even need to use rice at all. You could just use a lettuce leaf or a nori leaf to just wrap it all up. But having said all of that, this is our third and last dish. And just to jazz it up a little bit, I've just decided to add in a drizzle of teriyaki sauce as well. So simple, easy to prepare, good for you and good for the planet. And here we have our really convenient, ready to go bento box that we assembled of our Beyond Meat Onigirazu.
Yes.
And it's really convenient to bring on a weekend picnic or for school lunches. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna start trying this perfect blend of carbohydrates, our yummy beef burger, and nice and juicy.
Yeah, I love that you do that sauce.
I know. We needed that, I think. All right. Rice is always comforting.
It is.
Yeah.
And it was as easy as like, we hardly even cooked. It was just like putting together a meal. And that's the whole idea. The convenience and having something healthy can go really hand in hand.
Yes. And don't forget, what you put into your body is the foundation of good health. So food that's good for you and good for the planet.
Yes.